Me, hosted by Brent Fox. Of course, I am going to try and quickly review the Pittsburgh Steelers matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. So, um, basically, the matchup is actually going to be in Baltimore. The game, I believe, comes on 3 3 p.m. Excuse me, Central Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard. Um, I think the key factors in this particular matchup for Pittsburgh's offense is to be able to have a sustainable short to mid range passing game. I think that it is very important to run either short or mid range pass plays on first down to kind of set a tone, if you will. I think if we revert back to trying to run on early downs, we're going to have some difficulty. I'll put it that way. We have to be able to adjust to what the defense is actually giving us a lot better and be able to take advantage. If someone is actually stepping up to the line of scrimmage and is getting ready to stop your predictable toss play, then we need to make sure that we check off to something else. Maybe, and I would probably say like the quick game, maybe like drags, slants, even stick routes, could probably be helpful in these type of situations. I just think that if we switch it up just as far as maybe like the play calling, tempo, things of that nature on offense, we should be a lot more successful. If we keep doing the status quo, it's not going to work out for us. Defensively, I think that if we are able to still kind of sustain Lamar Jackson as far as him just being able to take the ball and run with it, I think for the most part we should be okay. I will take my chances with him throwing the ball, even though he is thrown for 5 touchdowns against the Giants. Those are the Giants. Um, Even with the defense that is minus Deshaun Elliott, which is, I'll say it is detrimental, especially in matchups like this. You don't want to have guys like Xavier Flowers in or Zay Flowers, I'm sorry, in open field and not be able to have someone step up and make the tackle. Hey, what's happening? Uh Mr. Anderson. Um, no, I'm not a farmer. Regular guy. I just happen to have like on a Steelers hoodie. It's actually cold in Dallas where we are. Um, and I'm of course recording from a car in a garage. So real life person, real life situation, man. Oh, okay. Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Anderson. All right. So I think that if we're able to make sure that we get the guys on the ground, make fundamentally sound tackles, make sure that we fill our running lanes. Of course, when the running plays are being called, I expect Baltimore to run a lot more than they did the last matchup. So we're going to have to make sure that gap integrity is key and that we actually fill these gaps up very quickly. We actually tackle responsibly. And that means everybody to the ball. Once someone actually hits or makes contact with the ball carrier, I think everyone needs to swarm in and finish the play. I do not want to see guys assuming that the other guy is going to make the tackle or make the play and then not do anything. I think on this particular team, that's not so much of an issue. But still, I think it needs to be said. Hey, Soul Power, what's happening, man? Salute, brother. And hello, Jolly Mint. Okay, so Mauricio, I don't know why you would ask me, do I have a job? Of course I do, but if you're insinuating some or trying to be funny about it, this is not the place for that. I will just have you quickly removed from here if you say anything else, or yeah, if you say anything else slick or derogatory, you're out of here. I don't put up with those type of things. All right. Oh, okay. Well, you're out of here. All righty. Okay, so we already had somebody else try and try and do something. I don't understand that. Why would you? Yeah, never mind. Not worth my time or energy. Okay, so kind of getting back on the subject of the game. Um, Special teams is actually going to be a huge factor in this one too. I think that if we are able to sustain good field flipping position, which means that if we punt successfully, pin Baltimore deep in their territory, that's going to be a key component to the game as well. Of course, our field goal kicker, Chris Boswell, has been magnificent this season, and I think that he's definitely going to contribute, especially this game. But we need to make sure that we are able to effectively put the ball in the end zone this time and not be so reliant on our kicker, even though he is a great kicker. All right, let's see. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Well, what I'm quote unquote yapping about is the Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you're not interested, please leave the channel. Um, but yeah, I think that special teams is a factor. So be on the lookout for that. Um, we've had issues, and when I say we, I'm talking about my Pittsburgh Steelers. We've had issues actually executing run plays. We are stuck on a toss play, and there was a very good explanation as to why. Shout outs to Alan Saunders for the Pittsburgh Post Gazette. He explained that the toss play that's being frequently used is because that toss play actually helps with the ball carrier's vision as far as just kind of finding which holes to hit. If we call something what that's referred to as maybe a zone play, basically what that is offensive linemen would actually take a step to their left or right, and whoever is in that particular area is who they block. If a block is actually missed, the whole play is ruined. But if they run a toss play, it gives the ball carrier some time to actually kind of decipher which hole they're actually going to hit, and more importantly, being able to have a better chance of eluding a tackler that actually gets back in the backfield. My response to that, though, is that if that's going on, we need to make sure that we run something what we would call like a sprint draw. A sprint draw is basically the quarterback just kind of acting like he's going to drop back to pass and then suddenly hands the ball off to the running back. The sprint portion of it is the running back waits a split second and then runs towards the quarterback, takes the handoff, and then he actually winds up hitting the hole. The reason that I'm suggesting the sprint draw in this instance is because that also helps with ball carrier vision, and it decreases the likelihood of fumbles that we've actually seen last week in Philadelphia. So if we're going to do something like that to where the ball carrier needs vision and maybe the offensive line is not blocking to an A+ level, and they need to make backfield adjustments to try to elude guys, then I think the sprint draw is better. With a runner like Najee Harris and Jalen Warren, you need those guys having forward momentum instead of lateral momentum. And that decreases the likelihood of them losing yards. Um, oh, okay. So you, okay, so you just kind of on here trolling. That's cool. Um, and Anita, sure, I can try and see what page you're actually on. Um, excuse me. And then I can try to see if I can support. Sure. I don't mind doing that. I support those that try to support me. Um, but yeah, anyway, I think that the sprint draw is probably a better solution than that toss as far as establishing a running game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Um, I also think that even though it was explained that sometimes the zone plays don't work, I think maybe a zone stretch play would probably help, even though it is quote unquote risky from what I'm hearing about the blocking up front. I just think that we need another approach as far as running the ball. We've been very unsuccessful as far as running the toss plays. And then the dive plays, of course, are getting swallowed up as well. So we need to try something different as far as the running plays. The the slow developing plays like counters, and then G blocks, which is basically like offensive linemen pulling around and then trying to get to a hole. That was successful at one point. It is not successful at this point, though. So, of course, we need something that would be a lot more simpler and more efficient, to be quite honest. So, I think that sprint draw is probably going to be the way to go. But I am not an NFL offensive coordinator nor a coach, so and they work with these gentlemen every day. So hopefully they are able to find something that could be pretty well executed in this matchup to later on today. Let me see here. All righty. Okay. Well, I'm just kind of going through the comments to see if I've missed anything. It doesn't look like it. Um, all right. Well, I definitely I definitely appreciate those that actually showed up to show support. Anita, I'm gonna try to go to your page and kind of take a look and see what's going on with that. Um, but yeah, thank you all for tuning in to a special edition of It's Just Me, hosted by Brent Fox. And happy holidays to everyone as well. If you celebrate, of course. All right. I will see you guys not this coming week, but probably the week after.